Hello guys. Alright, so in today's class we'll be talking about if statement. Alright, it is one of the ways in which we write condition, right, in programming. So now let's just jump right in. Alright, basically, what are conditions? Let's say for example now I want to do something. Let's say I want to go to a place. Then I said okay, I'll be coming to school tomorrow. If it rains, I won't come to school, but if it doesn't, I will. That right there is a condition, right? So basically there are three things under conditioning, right, which I will comment under here. We have the if, right? We have the else if you are coming from Python background, it is called elif in Python. Then we have else. So we have the if, we have the else if, and we have the else. Let's just jump right into the code and let's see something. Let's say I have this code now. Integer of age equal to, let's say, 18. So let's say somebody is 18. Then I want to write a code that checks if this person is that will check if the person's age is 18. So if the person's age is more than 18, the person is adult. Otherwise the person is let's say a teenager. Let me put it that way. So int equal to age equal to 18, right? You guys remember the reason for this on the line here. The reason for this on the line is because this age variable has not been used. So int age equal to 18. Then I can say if age is greater, right, like this, or equal to 18. Sorry, let me cut this whole thing. Now whenever we write if statement, right, whenever we write if statement, it has to be like this, more like the way we write function, right? You can see this now. So in this bracket you see here, that's where your condition will be. You can see if age, let me just leave a space, right, it makes sense. If age in this bracket here is greater than or equal to 18, then I have this thing here. These two brackets here in programming is what we call scope, because that's exactly where I'll get to do anything that has been written here, because this is like checking a condition. So when you check the condition, you want to return something and you have to return it in the scope. So if age equals to or greater than or equal to 18, I want to print that you, right, are an adult, right? And you have to have something like this after it. Then else, can you see it now? Else. So the else comes after the if. Can you see now? You can see the bracket of the if. The else comes after the if. Now else doesn't have a condition. You don't have condition to else. You only have the condition to if with this open and close parentheses you see here. So else automatically just open a scope like this. Then you print straight up, right? You are a, let's say, teenager as an example. Let's say a teenager. So now you have to put this at the end of the day. So when I run this code now, let's see what we have. So the value we have here, the answer we have, is going to determine what we have done in this code. Now it says we are an adult. Let's see why it says we are an adult. The reason why it says we are an adult is because I have int age equal to 18, right? So now this condition you check here now, it either checks whether it is true or false. If I say somebody's age is equal to 18, then I say age is greater than or equal to 18, it means this condition is true. So since the condition is true, that means in this conditional bracket you see here, we can only take a boolean. When I say boolean, I mean something like this. Boolean in programming is a way we check whether something is true or false, right? So now since there is age greater than or equal to 18 here, this is a boolean. So now if this boolean is true, this gets printed. If it's not true, this gets printed. Let me reduce this thing. Let me just turn this to 17 as an example. So int age equals to 17. Then I say if age is greater than 18. 7 is not greater than 18. It means that this condition here is false. That means this thing here will not be printed. Then I'm expecting the else to be printed in this case. So that's for that. So if statement is something we use a lot because it is something that you always check conditions whenever you write code. So it's something you should be expecting to happen here from time to time. Now we can also get to check whether, let's say I have more things to check. Let me cut this else first. Let me just Ctrl X cut. Now what if I have more things to check? What if I want to say if the person's age is greater than something like 65, then the person is old, something like that? Then that's where this else if comes in. Else if allows me to check more conditions, because the if and the else only allow me to check whether something is true. If it's not true, then it will be false. But what if there are other conditions in between that I want to check? For example, now I want to check whether I want to check for anybody that is greater than 65. If the person is greater than 65, then the person is old. So I can come here and say else if I check condition again, right? Then I say age is greater than 65, right? I open the scope and say print you are old, like this. Then I can now have maybe my else or something, right? So you can have as much as you can for the else if. You can have so many else if. So I can choose to come here again and say, okay, else, right, if age is greater than, let's say, 100, I can now come here and say you are over a century, something like that, right? And of course you have to print it, so that's a mistake, and it has to be a string, and then we close it up, and then this. You can see I've checked multiple conditions. So when I run this code now, let's see what I get. You are an adult. Why? Because this thing is equal to 18. What if I make this thing 120 like this, and then I run again? Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. You are an adult. Now who can tell me why you are an adult is the code is still coming out when it's supposed to be you are over a century? That's because when something is greater than 18, when something is 100, when something is 120, it is still greater than 18. 120 is also greater than 18. So if I want the code to run as you are over a century when I give it 100, then I need to just maybe bring this one to be the first condition I'm going to check. You get what I'm saying? Then when I cut this off, the else comes here. Then I come here, and I make this the if. You can see. Then the else if, maybe I can have another else if. Let me just cut this one. Then I put it around here. Then I can call this one the greater than or equal to 18. I only refactored it. I took the 100 up, then I brought the 18 down. So when I run this code now, so let me turn this to you are adult again. So let me run it again. Let's see. So you can see when it's greater than 100 now. Let's see what we have, and then because 120 is greater than 100 now, so you can see you're over a century. Let me turn this to 18. Let me see what we get. Let's see what we get. You are an adult. You can see now. And then if I just give it something like 5, let's see what we get. So you just about writing the condition and making it right. So it is just checking condition, and you make sure that you arrange it in a way that it is not biased, because when I put the greater than 18 at the first year, you check the condition, then you neglected the rest, even though we wanted to check that age is greater than 100. You can see when I brought the 100 up here, I was able to get an actual condition, and it was able to check the condition in the right way. So yeah, I will stop the class here. There are more things to talk about. In the next video, the next video will be an extension to what we've talked about now, where we'll talk about the and the or. So see you in the next class.